What's up?
1. All right. So we have the song picked out.
Oh no. I mean, we can just edit it in later if you want. I don't really feel like picking out a song right now.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. All right. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Pulse. I'm Ethan Winter, hosting this week, and alongside me in North Carolina and in Maryland, along the East Coast, is Brian Brennan and Sean McNiff.
What's up? What's up?
What up?
I'm taking over the hosting duties this week since Sean's feeling a bit noodly.
I've been feeling a bit noodly for like the past 10 days. It's been terrible.
Are you just like
Uh,
or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I don't know what you just said.
yeah, I don't know what you said, Brian.
Yeah,
But,
your shit's like all frozen and shit.
Yeah, Brian's frozen. No, now he's kind of back. I don't know. But all right, we have Brian back now. All right, let's start things going off with the NFL Week 10 recap. Brian, you did horrible last week, going 4-10. Sean did the best last week at 7-7, but a lot of upsets last week. Peyton Manning's dead.
Hey, what did you do last week?
Me, I went 6-8.
Yes, you didn't do much better.
I know. I said you did better. You did.
But you said you're like Brian did horrible. Like you did a
Well,
whole lot better.
Well, but you know why? Because I'm now one game better than Brian for the entire season. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm still like 20 games up. So.
Yeah,
You
because
guys have to learn
you didn't pick the first 2 weeks of the season. But yeah, there's a lot of upsets last week. Peyton Manning, I think it's the first time a professional athlete has completed a milestone and been benched in the same game. It was awful.
Yeah, he had 4 interceptions, didn't he?
And I think he had a fumble too.
Didn't he? He completed 5 passes to the Broncos and 4 passes to the Chiefs, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I read.
Yeah. And
he only threw for like 30 yards.
Yeah. I mean, he was only 3 yards off of the record. So he didn't have to do much to get it.
But coming into the game, he was like a couple yards off.
Yeah, and the next record that Peyton Manning is going for, Brett Favre's, is the interceptions record.
Yeah, clearly.
But yeah, tough day for Peyton, tough day for the Broncos. The Bengals once again can't win in prime time as they are upset by the Houston Texans.
That was the first loss of the season.
Yes. Yeah, so now
they're... So what are you saying, once again can't win in prime time? This is their first...
Well, no. I mean...
Well, historically.
Historically, the Bengals haven't been able to win in prime time. I
didn't really know that.
Yeah,
I was thinking this is the first loss of the season. You're just like saying they're losing again.
Right. Well, there's a good chance that they'll lose again this week because they're playing the Cardinals, a premier primetime opponent this season, in primetime again on Sunday
Night Football, yeah.
So the Bengals could be looking at a 2-game losing streak after this week, or this upcoming week. But I guess the best game of the day was Patriots and Giants.
I knew I was going to say it.
Yeah, me too.
But you know what? It was the best game of the day. Am I wrong that it was the best game of the day? No, it wasn't.
I don't know.
It was the best game of the day.
If you ask me, the Redskins was the best game of the day when they hung 47 points and got Rob Ryan fired.
Yeah, well, the Redskins had a great game. Great day.
Kirk Cousins threw for 4 touchdowns. 360 whatever yards.
Right.
But yeah, the Patriots squeaking by the Giants in the game they shouldn't have won. That's definitely a great game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would say that the Patriots were lucky.
As usual.
How about that?
No, it's just this is the first time this season that they were actually lucky.
How about that play calling by Tom Coughlin in the last 2 minutes of the game?
See,
that was horrible play calling.
I
you run the ball 3 straight times there. Absolutely, you run the ball 3 straight times.
I don't agree with running the ball 3 straight times there because you need to score a touchdown. As we found out, a field goal wasn't enough. But he should have ran the ball on first down right before.
Yeah, a field goal wasn't enough with 2 minutes to go. A field goal would have been enough probably with a minute and like 10 seconds to go. A minute left.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It would have been a lot harder.
Yeah, but in that situation, in that scenario, you go for the touchdown.
But also, if you run the ball 3 straight times from the 4-yard line, you should definitely score. If you don't deserve to win.
This also isn't the first time this season that the Giants have messed up like this, where they should have run the football and possibly gone for the touchdown instead of just kicking the field goal. And it came back to bite him again.
I mean, I agree. I don't think the Giants should have passed it on every down. That was kind of dumb. I think they should have
really dumb.
At least 2 times, and just so you run it once before the 2-minute warning, once after the 2-minute warning, and if you still haven't scored, you go for the touchdown and do like a play action pass or something. But where I think the Patriots got really lucky was when Landon Collins dropped that interception at the
thanks a lot, Landon.
Oh yeah. That was a whole lot of luck going the Patriots' way.
Yeah, I mean, when that play happened, I thought the Patriots lost. I thought the game was over. Like, I was like, God damn it. Well, you know what? At least we can still win the rest of the games and have 18-1 be a good thing for the Super Bowl win at the end of the year. But I mean,
18-1 is a good thing, but I'll continue.
You know what I'm talking about. But I mean, the Patriots got new life, and they took advantage of it, and that OBJ drop in the end zone, that 100% was not a catch. I think.
How do you even call that?
Oh, right.
I don't even get
exactly
how that's a catch.
Especially if
well, because he had 2 feet down in possession of the ball.
No, he did not. He did not, though. Because
I thought he had 2 feet down.
No, as soon as his second
2 feet down, but he didn't have possession of the ball.
Right.
That was the issue.
As soon as OBJ's second foot hit the ground, Malcolm Butler ripped the ball out of his hands, and that's when the ball fell incomplete. So that's not a catch, and people that still think that is a catch, like, they're just haters. Like, I saw Austin Ford was like, I saw Austin Ford's status after the game, and I was like, that wasn't a catch, Austin.
I don't know who Austin Ford is or what.
Oh, sorry.
So can you enlighten us?
Yeah, Austin Ford from High Point is me and Brian's friend. From High Point. But
good story.
Yeah.
I like it.
That wasn't a catch. That's what he said.
Okay.
Yeah, it just wasn't a catch. It wasn't a catch. But all right, let's move on now to our Week 11 picks. Start with the game Thursday night. It's a real snooze fest. I hear the Tennessee Titans powder blue color rush uniforms are awesome. The Jaguars not so much.
So that's all that matters.
The Jaguars not so much. And I'm going with a better uniform this week. The Titans are going to win.
Yeah, those Jaguar uniforms just suck. I think the game's in Jacksonville, but either way,
yeah, it is in Jacksonville.
Either way, even though the Jags have looked better this year, I'm going to go with the Titans.
I mean, they've both looked equally bad, haven't they? Titans.
The Jaguars have actually looked not terrible. I mean, they beat the Ravens this week, and Allen Hurns is really good. So
Titans haven't looked terrible either.
Right, well, I was just going to say that both teams actually have not looked completely terrible.
That's true. The Titans have had their moments.
Pretty good at times.
Yeah, I'm staying with that. I'm going to go with the Titans simply because of Marcus Mariota going against Blake Bortles. I started Blake Bortles in fantasy last week. Picked him up because Matt Ryan had a bye week. He didn't do as well as I thought he would. He was playing the Ravens, and the Ravens are terrible. They're like 30th in like the league at giving up points against the quarterback or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Blake Bortles definitely disappointed me. I should have started Kirk Cousins, but
you know what?
What are you gonna do?
You still came out with the win.
Yeah, I did.
So
because my opponent didn't start two players.
Oh, you got Thomas bye, didn't you?
Yeah, I was playing Breezes.
Yeah,
and
Thomas.
I was scared.
I
was scared because I thought Drew Brees would have got like 40 points on the Redskins, but he didn't. Redskins played pretty well.
I don't even understand how I beat Smitty this week. I scored 73 points and still came out with the win. And I had a gopher, a big fat donut from Emmanuel Sanders, and I still won.
I did too this week from Willie Snead of the Saints.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sean.
I got mine from James Jones of the Packers.
But hey, you know what? We all still won.
I had James Jones in DraftKings too. Put up a huge donut. It just sucks.
Winning's all that matters.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Next week,
I'm doing terrible.
Our next game, we have the Raiders at the Lions. I think we are all on the Raiders this week.
Yeah, Detroit.
Go ahead.
Detroit won last week. The Packers have been playing terrible. They really didn't win. The Packers lost that game, which Detroit was handing them. I don't know if you guys saw the end of the game, but Detroit was handing them the game at the.
It was really
the very
bad.
End.
Like Detroit did everything they could to give that game to Green Bay.
Yeah, Raiders are all right. They have some weapons on offense. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
Yeah, Derek Carr's playing really well as well. I'm going with the Raiders.
Oakland.
All right, we have the Colts at Falcons. Both teams coming off of a bye this past week. I originally went with the Colts, but because I feel like that bye was going to help them get healthy. But it's in Atlanta, and also Atlanta's not really playing all that well. So I feel like this is a harder game to pick than most people think.
Yeah, Atlanta's coming off a bye, so I'm gonna go with Atlanta. Julio Jones should be back in full force.
I want to see the Falcons.
I'm going with the Falcons.
Respond well because they haven't been playing well even before the bye. I mean, they lost to the 49ers, and they've been struggling offensively. I should point this out now that we're talking about the Falcons. I have a coworker who's a big Falcons fan, and he spent the last week reviewing all of the Falcons' offensive plays, trying to figure out what's wrong. and he thinks that the problem is they just don't have anybody else who can catch the ball other than Julio Jones, which I don't think he needed to study all the plays to see. But I mean, either way, I think the Falcons will get the win. Coming off the bye week, this will be a good game though. I'm going with the Falcons.
Yeah. Next week we have the Jets at the Texans. The Jets have been struggling. Texans coming off of a big win last night against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going with the Texans in the upset.
I'm gonna go with the Jets just because I think Houston's not a very good football team. I don't know how they won last night. I didn't watch the game, but I don't know how they won.
It was an awful game. It was 10-6 final score.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with not the Texans.
Not the Texans.
The Jets.
I'm going with not the Texans either.
You mean also?
Yeah, I'm going with the Jets. This is Ryan Fitzpatrick's return game to Houston. And even then, with Houston in first place, by the way, at 4-5.
They're tied with the Colts in first place.
Which is just ridiculous. I'm going to go with the Jets. By the way, I just totally remembered, and this would make the last game a little bit more of a slam dunk, but Matt Hasselbeck is starting for the Colts now because Andrew Luck's out.
Yeah, well, see, you know what? The Colts have actually played well when Matt Hasselbeck's at quarterback, so...
That's true. Could be a factor the rest of the way.
Hey, you know, it's a battle between two BC quarterbacks, Matt Hasselbeck and Matt Ryan.
I dig it.
All right, next...
Although Matt Hasselbeck's like 50 years old, but...
True, they're separated by about 20 years.
I was going to say, they weren't like close.
No.
They were having 10-year reunions for Hasselbeck when Matt Ryan was playing.
Yeah. Next game is the Buccaneers at the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles.
I forgot who I picked, actually. Go ahead, Brian.
You picked the Bucks.
The Bucks? Alright, I'm picking the Bucks. Actually... Or no, Nick Foles plays for the Rams now. Nick Foles got benched. You guys hear
that? Yeah, I read that.
I'm going with the Bucks just because I think they're hot and Eagles aren't really playing all that well.
Yeah, the Eagles should have beaten the Dolphins last week. That was a bad loss at home.
Definitely.
But it's the Eagles, like the rest of the NFC East, they're hard to gauge.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get from them.
Yeah, they change from week to week.
I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one because the game's in Philly, but Tampa's actually looked pretty good these last couple of weeks, so this could be a good game, but I'm going to go with the Eagles.
All right, next game is the Peyton Manning-less Broncos against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. The Bears with a big win last week over the Rams, which is kind of an upset. And the Broncos have Brock Osweiler starting. I'm going with the Bears. I think the Bears are playing well, and the Broncos are not playing well. They've lost 2 in a row now.
Yeah, even though the Broncos still have probably one of the top defenses in the league, I'm going to go with the Bears simply because they're at home, and I think Jay Cutler and Alshon Jeffrey will get it done this week.
Alshon Jeffrey better get it done this week.
Yeah, for my fantasy team, you better get it done too.
Yeah. I'm going with the Broncos. I want to see how Brock Osweiler does, but even then, with Brock Osweiler instead of Peyton Manning, I'd still probably say the Broncos are a better team because of their defense. So they have to show a lot of people this week that they're still good without Peyton Manning. So I'm going to go with the Broncos.
All right. Next game is the St. Louis Rams at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are both teams with bad losses. The Rams should have beaten the Bears last week. And the Ravens apparently got screwed, but I don't care.
They did.
It's karma. So the Ravens can just go fuck themselves.
They gave the game away anyway. It was bad.
What are they doing losing
it shouldn't even
be anyway?
It shouldn't even be close. So
I mean, the Ravens are what 2-7?
Yeah.
They're not a very good team either.
Right.
They aren't a good team.
And because of that, all of us are picking the Rams.
Todd Gurley.
All right, next game, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Miami Dolphins. Tony Romo's coming back. The Dolphins with a big road win last week at the Eagles. I think all of us are going with the Dolphins. It's just with the type of injury that Tony Romo's coming back from, a broken collarbone. You gotta at least give him a week to see what he has before he can pick the Cowboys.
If the Cowboys do win this week, it'll probably not be because of Tony Romo. I mean, like you said, you kind of have to give him a week, and this isn't the first time he's had this injury either.
Right.
So I think, yeah, this sets up well for the Dolphins to get a win in Miami. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Cowboys locker room is a mess too, and I don't think Tony Romo having his uniform on will really change that at all.
Next game we have is the Washington Redskins at the undefeated Carolina Panthers. One of two undefeated teams are remaining in the NFL. It's in Charlotte. And also the Panthers are playing really well. And I'm going with the Panthers. And also I just kind of remembered or just thought of a kind of a wild card topic about Cam Newton.
Yes.
Although we could just talk about it now.
You know I have strong opinions on that. So
yeah, we can talk about it now.
You want to talk about it now, Sean?
Yeah.
All right, so Cam Newton is apparently offending white people. And that's what it is. I mean, did you read that letter that woman wrote to the Charlotte paper? I mean, she said, she acted like the world had ended because Cam Newton danced. And Cam Newton had the perfect response for it, too. It was, if you don't like the dancing, don't let me score. I mean, what is the world like? Why is this a big deal to people?
I mean, I equate this to the bat flip, the bat flipping in Major League Baseball. If you don't want someone to flip their bat in your eyeball, don't give up a gopher ball.
Yeah, don't give up a home run.
Yeah, it's Cam the same type of thing.
Be better.
Don't be a scrub.
The woman who wrote this letter, you guys have read the letter, right?
No, but I just know it's ridiculous.
This woman wrote this letter saying that this woman from Tennessee sent the Charlotte Observer a open letter saying, it was an open letter to Cam Newton, and she was like, I went to the game with my kids, and we had great seats, and we were able to see your shenanigans in the end zone. It just went on and on. And she was like, even after the game, I could see the look in my daughter's eyes. She was still thinking about what you did. It was the most ridiculous thing ever. And then she called Cam Newton not a role model either, which is just straight not true.
I mean, in a league that doesn't have a lot of role models that you could actually legitimately look up to, Cam Newton is certainly one of them.
Yeah, exactly. I'll send you the letter after this because it's ridiculous. And Deadspin, of course, had the headline Cam Newton offending white people or scared white people running out of reasons to hate Cam Newton. And that's just what it feels like. I mean, you criticize him for ripping down the banner, and you criticize him for dabbing in the end zone, and it's just never going to stop with Cam Newton. And the guy's having an MVP quality season.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the name of the dance move, the dab.
The dab.
Where you cover your face with your
elbow.
Elbow, yeah. I had no idea until I read that letter and some blog. It was explaining Cam Newton dabs in the end zone and pisses off people.
White people.
Yeah.
All right.
But go Panthers. They're winning this game.
Yeah, not so fast. Kirk Cousins, I don't know if you heard, but Kirk Cousins threw for 360-something and 4 touchdowns last week. He even got a defensive coordinator fired, so I wouldn't be too sure about that pick. I'm going with the Redskins.
All right, next game is the Kansas City Chiefs at the San Diego Chargers. The Chiefs are suddenly resurging with Skarkandrick West taking over the running back duties for the injured Jamal Charles.
He's like Lou Gehrig. He's, the guy got hurt, and now all of a sudden Sharkandrick's playing really well.
I'm going with the Chiefs because it's become apparent to me that as good as Phillip Rivers is, he just does not have a very strong supporting cast around him, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And his receivers are out for the year now. Keenan Allen's done for the year. I think there's another one that's out for the year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all he has right now is an over-the-hill Antonio Gates and Danny Woodhead. That's their like 2 only options.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my pick because I forgot about Charkandrick West and I also forgot about Keenan Allen being out for the year, so I'm going with the Chiefs.
All right. Next game is the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Green Bay Packers in a huge NFC North matchup.
Huge.
Huge? Is this big?
Boom.
I think it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Vikings are in first place. Wow.
Yes. That's
Vikings
why
are
it's
7-2.
huge.
Packers are 6-3. I knew they were close. I didn't know they're in first place. I'm gonna go with the Packers. They've gotta come back. They just have to. Aaron Rodgers has to bounce back sometime. I thought they were gonna do it last week against the Lions, but didn't happen that way. So I'm still going with the Packers.
And they pretty much have to win this game too if they want to win the division, and I think they know that. Because the 2-game lead would be really tough to make up.
Yeah, but they still play the Vikings again later in the season.
Yeah, but they'd be 2 games. They'd be 2 games back at that point, which is a lot. That's a lot at this point in the season. I think they will get it done though. Even through all this, Rodgers, he's my fantasy quarterback. He's been playing pretty well. Not his usual MVP self, but he's still been playing. Most teams would be like, if Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback, you'd be pretty all right with it. So I'm going to go with the Packers in this one, but it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. And if this game was in Green Bay, I would say that the Packers right the ship, but they were in Green Bay last week, lost to the Lions for the first time in our lifetimes. Although I guess you were alive, Brian, the last time the Lions beat the...
When did it happen?
1991.
All right, then. Yeah, I was alive.
But I mean, that's a bad loss on the Packers. They needed that game. There's something is obviously wrong in Green Bay offensively. I don't know what's going on. And the Vikings are playing extremely well, led by Adrian Peterson. So I'm going to go with the Vikings at home. And by the way, the Packers are like my NFC team. Like, I like the Packers.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Next game is the 49ers at the Seahawks. The Seahawks, they lose to Arizona at home, but they're not going to lose to San Francisco at home.
It's pretty straightforward. I mean, the Niners aren't that good, even though they did beat the Falcons, and the game's in Seattle. And the Seahawks still have outside chance at making the playoffs, even after this week's loss. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Seahawks. 49ers just suck.
And then now the Sunday night game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Arizona Cardinals. The second straight primetime game in a row for the Bengals. They proved that they are not ready for primetime last week against an inferior opponent. They're not ready for primetime this week on the road against a primetime opponent. I'm going with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals too, but it's not because it's in prime time. It's because Cardinals are really good and they're at home this week.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm going with the Cardinals. Carson Palmer has been really great this season, and he's going to keep it up.
All right, now the game that we've all been waiting for.
Jesus Christ.
We have Sexy Rexy and the Buffalo Bills and Bills Mafia coming to New England for Monday Night Football. It'll be interesting. Will Roger Goodell show up at Gillette this week? Who knows? But I'm going with the Patriots, going to 10-0.
Why would Roger Goodell go to Gillette?
He goes to at least one stadium every week.
But why would he make this? Like, why would he go to the Patriots this week?
It's usually a primetime game, and he hasn't been to the Patriots. Hasn't been to Gillette yet this season.
I think he'll go to Arizona where he's not going to get stabbed, but...
He's not going to get stabbed, he's just going to get booed ruthlessly.
He probably hasn't been to Patriots Stadium because the Patriots fans are a bunch of assholes.
He was at the Giants game last week. And
really?
And Steven Gostkowski kicked the game-winning 54-yard field goal right in his eyeball. But yeah, Patriots win this one.
Yeah, they will.
I guess.
All right, that will bring us to our buy or sell now, with two undefeated teams left in the NFL, the Patriots and the Panthers. Buy or sell, and keep in mind the best chance that the Patriots were going to lose didn't happen last week. The Giants had the best chance so far. They didn't get the job done, but anyway, will there be an undefeated team this season?
Yes, and it will be the Carolina Panthers and not the Patriots. The Panthers are going undefeated. I mean, look at the schedule. I mean, they're going undefeated. Who's going to test them? Atlanta? Atlanta can not put up any points. I mean, it's just not going to happen. New Orleans might be the toughest game for the Saints, but even then,
Panthers?
For the Panthers, excuse me. To me, I think the Panthers have proven every test, and that's my opinion on that.
Now let me ask you this question. Who could challenge the Patriots? Now, I know Julian Edelman is out, but looking at
doesn't that worry you as a Patriots fan because he's out and he's such a big part of their offense with Tom Brady? I mean, he's been Brady's number one guy for a while. I mean, that's a big loss.
I mean, it's a huge loss. But I mean, the Patriots. I mean, you have Danny Amendola ready to slide right in that spot, and Edelman should be back for the playoffs at the latest. He might be back for week 16 or 17. But I mean, looking at the Patriots' schedule, like people thought before Peyton Manning died that the Broncos were going to be the biggest test. Now that Peyton Manning's arm literally just fell off, the Broncos aren't a threat.
What about the Jets?
I don't know. It depends on how Brock Osweiler plays. He's got Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, whoever else is on the Broncos offense. They've got some weapons. They got a pretty good offensive line too. So don't take the Broncos lightly.
Right, the Broncos have a good offensive line?
They have an alright offensive line.
I mean...
Or else Peyton Manning wouldn't have gone there.
Well, I mean, I think his offensive line has not helped him. But looking ahead...
But also the Patriots playing a bunch of tough defenses in the next couple weeks. They're playing the Bills next week or this week.
Yeah, but
Broncos next week. They're playing the Texans, and then they're playing the Jets again. That's a lot of tough defenses you got to face.
The Patriots put up 40 points against the Bills in Week 2. They put up 30 points against the Jets earlier this season also. Yeah, I mean, Edelman is going to hurt the offense, but not having him. But
I'm just saying, they're going to get beat up.
Is there a team that has an offense that could outscore the Patriots? That's my question. Literally, the Giants are the best chance for a team to knock off the Patriots.
The Eagles might. I don't know.
No, the Eagles aren't a threat.
Depends on how Brock Osweiler plays.
Brock Osweiler plays for the Broncos.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you said the Eagles might.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying not including the Eagles, another team that might beat the Broncos.
The Broncos, okay.
In addition to, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, I would say that of the teams remaining left on the Patriots' schedule, the Broncos pose the biggest threat, but they don't scare me one bit.
What about the Jets at MetLife Stadium? That game doesn't scare you at all? I mean, the Jets' defense is better than the Patriots' defense. And the Jets could be a playoff team this year.
I mean, so do you think Bill Belichick's going to start his starters in Week 17 if they're 15-0?
Yeah.
You think he's going to start Tom Brady in Week 17 or Week 16 when they're 14-0 and have everything clinched?
The Dolphins? Well, I mean, I don't know.
Even against the Jets in Week 16.
I mean, to me, it doesn't. It depends. I don't know what Belichick's going to do. I mean, the last time they had that opportunity, he went for it, and I'm the believer.
And then they lost in the Super Bowl.
But listen, I'm a believer in when you have history in front of you, you got to go chase it. You got to go chase it. Doesn't matter. And it's a coward move to sit your starters when you're undefeated, have a chance at history. It's a coward move. Now, do you think there's a chance that there'll be two teams undefeated?
I already told you.
Yeah, I think there will be a chance. Also, I just want to point your attention to the rest of the Patriots' schedules. They are going to get beat up before they get to the playoffs. They really are going to get beat up. Just so that you know.
I'm aware of the Patriots' schedule. You don't think I'm aware of the Patriots' schedule?
I don't care if you're aware of the Patriots' schedule. I just want to point your attention to it right this very instant and tell you that they're going to get beat up. Tom Brady's going to get beat up.
All right. Well, you have the Bills this week.
Very good defense.
But we already said that the Patriots are going to beat the Bills. It's at home. Patriots don't lose at home.
I didn't say they were going to lose. I'm saying they're going to get beat up.
I mean, then you have the Broncos who have a all-right defense, but they have a great
defense. What do you mean they have an all-right defense? They have the top 2 defense in the league.
They have a great defense, but their defense has been giving up points the last 2 weeks. They gave up 29 to the Colts. They gave up 22 to the Chiefs last week at least.
Yeah, 22 points isn't that much.
Then you have the Eagles. The Eagles, they don't have an offense. The Broncos also don't have an offense. Even with Peyton Manning, they don't have an offense. Texans don't have an offense. Their defense, not very good. Titans, that's a win. Jets, their offense is question mark. Defense has slacked off since they played the Patriots. And then you have the Dolphins that are a mess. So, I mean, not a single team remaining on the Patriots schedule
I don't care.
Scares me the least.
All right, good for you.
All right. Speaking of undefeated, will the Warriors ever lose a game? Will the Warriors ever lose a game?
Well, yeah, of course we'll lose a game. It's an 82-game season. But will they lose more than 10 games? I don't know.
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, the way they're looking to start the year, I don't know. 10 games?
Yeah, what are they, like 13-0 now or something like that?
They're 11-0.
11
and they just look like a team that's not going to lose. I mean, Steph Curry is playing on a level that like nobody's ever played on before. Like he is in like some sort of stratosphere right now. Yeah. And I don't know if they're ever going to stop him.
Yeah, I mean the Warriors are playing extremely well. I think they'll lose more than 10 games. Just because I don't think you'll ever see a team go 72-10 ever again. Unless you're playing a video game.
Wait, who did it first?
9. The Bulls.
96 Bulls, baby.
I didn't know
that. They're the only team to go 72-10.
Probably the greatest team ever assembled.
Right. So that's my point. Also have to give a shout out to the Celtics. They beat the Rockets last night after beating the Thunder the night before. So they're playing really well. They're going to be a surprise in the NBA this season. Going for that 4th seed in the East. All right. Speaking of losing, Rhonda.
Wait, hold on. Are they still giving the East 8 teams in the playoffs? Is that still a thing? But
yes, that's still a thing.
I'm just checking because they're so bad.
No, it's actually kind of evened out a little bit this year.
But... I mean, the Sixers still suck. They haven't won a game yet.
Yeah, we're like 10 games into the season. We need to wait.
11 games.
Say things even out.
And the Celtics are only a half game behind Toronto for the first place in the Atlantic Division at 6-4. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we have Rhonda Rousey, the upset of
the yeah. I was gonna say the century, but upset of the decade. Yeah.
Yeah. Rhonda Rousey losing to Holly Holm, who just eviscerated her, surprisingly with a roundhouse kick, Chuck Norris style. I mean, it was brutal. Like, I didn't even think anyone could beat Rhonda Rousey. Holly Holm obviously proved us all wrong.
Yeah, well, first of all, nobody knew anything about Holly Holm before the fight. They just knew she was Rhonda Rousey's next opponent and yada, 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 whatever.
It's just like, get this over with.
But knowing that now that she has, like, 9 kickboxing titles or something like that.
And not only is she kickboxing, but she also, I think, has done actual boxing, too.
Yeah,
she's a former boxer.
Yeah, knowing her boxing background, it's not surprising at all that Rhonda Rousey touched her maybe 3 times during the whole entire fight.
And whenever Rousey tried to even come close, she just got a face full of fists right in her face.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty much an ass kicking. It was unexpected. And Rhonda Rousey, I don't know if you guys saw this, but she came back to America today. And when she landed at Los Angeles International Airport, like, she was covering her face so nobody could see like her or how badly she was beat up.
Yeah. I don't blame her.
Yeah, like she was. Like, I felt so bad because the media was hounding Rhonda Rousey. Like, let the girl breathe. I mean, she just lost the first time she's lost in, I mean, probably forever. So, like, let her, kind of breathe for a minute. And then I didn't like that at all. But, I mean, this is good, I think, for the sport because now it creates rivalry between Holly Holm and Rhonda Rousey.
Yeah, now we got a rematch coming.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that rematch.
And I think Rousey, before she even considers a rematch, she needs to change the way that she trains and fights, because she can't fight Holly Holm the same way that she tried this time, or the same way she fights any other opponent. She has to actually take actual boxing lessons, because I mean she just Holly Holm schooled Rhonda Rousey, and I mean, she needs to learn how to actually fight as opposed to just kick the crap out of some woman.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey's a brawler. Like
Right.
it was pretty evident before the fight, but it was really evident after the fight because you just saw Holly Holm with just basic boxing skills just defeating her.
Yeah. All right. The walk off. Do you guys have anything, or should I go first?
You can go first. I've got one, but you can go first if you want.
All right. Well, it was announced and reported by Fox Sports' Ken Rosenthal that David Ortiz, Big Papi, the greatest designated hitter and clutch hitter who ever lived, will retire at the end of this season. And it's, I guess, it's a close comparison to you, Brian, the last 2 years in which you saw Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera retire. Your childhood, our childhood, just retired.
Yeah.
And Ortiz, he came to the Red Sox right when I actually was starting to like create vivid memories of the Red Sox. Like I remember when Nomar was playing, but those weren't really vivid memories. I don't have a lot of vivid memories from the '90s Red Sox. Any '90s Red Sox team, and so 2003, he took over the job from Jeremy Giambi, and he just never let it go. 100 guy, pretty much every season, well into his 30s, and his performances in the postseason really define who he is and what his legacy will be, and what he will leave in baseball as the greatest clutch hitter who ever lived, greatest designated hitter who ever lived. And Ortiz is going to be in the Hall of Fame. And when he is, you bet your ass I'm going to be there wearing my David Ortiz jersey in Cooperstown.
All right.
Is he gonna pull a Derek Jeter and do a farewell tour and have everybody give him presents?
Well, I think it's gonna be up to the teams, I guess, because really, like Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera, they didn't like ask those teams to like give them gifts or anything. They just did it out of respect.
Yeah, I don't know why that seemed really weird to me.
Yeah.
You just give him like a huge gift before a game.
Yeah, right. So, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seemed weird.
It was weird.
To be honest, I think the Red Sox were like going to I think the Red Sox, like Tom Warner asked David Ortiz, "Hey, are you going to retire at the end of this year? Because I want to know now so I can market the shit out of this." I would not be surprised if they did that.
Maybe.
Probably. But a hat tip to David Ortiz on that one.
Yeah. For my walk-off, I just want to give a quick shout-out to the Maryland Terps, number 3 in the nation. They're playing Georgetown tonight. Georgetown lost to Radford.
Yeah.
A couple days ago.
What up, Big South?
Pretty bad loss. I don't think Georgetown's particularly good this year. I don't think they're really like Georgetown this year, but losing to Radford, that's just terrible.
Yeah,
so
that's bad.
Big shout out for the Terps. RIP to Georgetown. They're gonna get killed tonight. That's basically all.
As the world was really shocked this week by obviously what happened in Paris, it was really obviously just a terrible, terrible day. Everything that happened, and obviously we all send our regards to everybody in Paris. And the NFL increased security, and this is, we usually do what Roger Goodell did wrong, but this is actually something the NFL did right. They increased security they had a moment of silence before every NFL game this week. And some of the things, I don't know if you guys heard, but some of the things that were said in some of these moments of silence throughout stadiums, it wasn't one specific stadium, but it was multiple stadiums. People were yelling things like, in Green Bay, for example, a guy yelled out, "Muslims suck," at the top of his lungs. I mean, like, this is, the point of a moment of silence is to show respect for all that is, for whoever is lost or what the moment represents. And to really ruin a moment like that is just inconceivable to me. It's incredibly disrespectful to anybody who had anybody affected or anybody lost in the tragedy in Paris, and it's insulting, really, just to anybody. And Aaron Rodgers, I think, deserves a lot of credit for calling that person out who yelled that out at Lambeau Field and saying that intolerance, there's no place for that anywhere. And just really, that's all I really wanted to say, was just that there's really no room for this type of stuff. And good job by Aaron Rodgers calling it out and saying, we're not going to take this. Because if you listen to the audio, it's not just that guy, but a lot of people, anytime you yell out during a moment of silence, it's disrespectful. But if you say something hateful, it's just makes it even worse, in my opinion. That's all I really have to say about that.
Yeah, I remember when the Giants, and they had a moment of silence during the Giants and Patriots game. They were doing the moment of silence, and I heard like some people chant or like yell Tom Brady or
no. I heard somebody yell ISIS sucks, and
that was during the Seahawks game, and that I think was okay because ISIS does suck.
ISIS is terrible. I'm not defending ISIS. Nobody's defending ISIS. I'm just saying the point of a moment of silence is to show respect. And especially something like this. This is tragic. This is universally sad. This is arguably the European equivalent to 9/11. And it's a tragic situation. And the fact that people can't show respect during a simple moment of silence and stay quiet and have to yell out dumb shit like Muslims suck, it just goes to show you this is why, some people in the world have a perception of America as just idiots.
Or ignorant assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree 100%. Like, you should just stay quiet during the moment of silence, and after the PA announcer says thank you, then you can say ISIS sucks or whatever.
I mean, and I want to
definitely don't say Muslim sucks.
Right, don't say Muslim sucks.
That's just idiotic.
But say like, you can say ISIS sucks because it's a known fact, or it's even better say Daesh sucks because it takes the Islamic out of it. And Daesh, for those of you who don't know, it was the original name that ISIS called themselves, and apparently they don't like it and are offended whenever you call them Daesh because they want to be known as the Islamic State, which gives them an actual standing of government or the perception that they have a government. If you say Islamic State, but if you call them Daesh, they hate that, and it's better because it takes the Islam out of it, and it's a big middle finger to them.
And I also want to give a shout out to, before we sign off here, the guy who, during the Packers moment of silence, I don't know if you guys have seen the video of the guy yelling Muslims suck, and then you can hear like a couple seconds later, some people are still yelling stuff, and then all of a sudden you can hear somebody yell at the top of his lungs, "Have some respect!" And I love that guy.
That's awesome.
That guy is awesome. But
that's awesome.
That's okay. That's okay for me.
Yeah.
If somebody's being a disrespectful prick, tell them to shut up.
Yeah.
Moment of silence or not.
I mean, it just shows immaturity.
Yeah.
But that's another edition of the Sports Pulse, and once again, we extend our condolences and prayers to the city of Paris. Apparently, there was also an attack in ISIS was behind in Beirut, so we extend our condolences to them as well, and just pray for the world, pray for peace, down with Daesh, and go America.
Fuck ISIS.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck Tom Brady too.
No, I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna edit this episode.